Today is February 18th, 2014, on a Tuesday. It's 8:35 p.m. Pacific Time. Well, this looks very interesting, folks. Get a load of this. The Outernet. Have you ever heard of the Outernet? You've heard of the Internet, but the Outernet. Yup. Forget the Internet, folks. Soon, there will be the Outernet. Company plans to beam free Wi-Fi to every person on Earth from space. Really? An ambitious project known as Outernet is aiming to launch hundreds of miniature satellites into low Earth orbit by June 2015. Has anybody heard of this, by the way? I think I heard about this, but I wasn't too sure what it was about. This is pretty interesting. Each satellite will broadcast the internet to phones and computers, giving billions of people across the globe free online access. Woo-woo! Well, I don't know if it's free or not, but citizens of countries like China and North Korea that have censored online activity could be given free and unrestricted cyberspace. There's really nothing that is technically impossible to this. And this is by the Daily Reporter. Yep. And it was dated February 5th, 2014. Okay. You might think you have to pay through the nose at the moment to access the internet. But one ambitious organization called the Media Development Investment Fund is planning to turn the age of online computing on its head by giving free web access to every person on Earth. Every person on Earth. Imagine that, folks. Known as Outernet. MDIF plans to launch hundreds of satellites into orbit by 2015. And they say the project could provide unrestricted internet access to countries where their web access is censored, including China and North Korea. Oh. I don't think the North Koreans would like that, but we'll see. The New York company plans to ask NASA to test their Outernet technology on the International Space Station on the left so they can begin broadcasting Wi-Fi to web users around the world on the right. Using something known as datacasting technology, which involves sending data over wide radio waves, the New York-based company says they'll be able to broadcast the internet around the world. The group is hoping to raise tens of millions of dollars in donations to get the project on the road. The Outernet team claimed that only 60% of the world's population currently has access to the wealth of knowledge that can be found on the internet. This is because, despite a wide spread of Wi-Fi devices across the globe, many countries are unable or unwilling to provide people with the infrastructure needed to access the web. And the Outernet project is aiming to raise tens of millions of dollars to launch hundreds of miniature satellites known as CubeSats to make their dream a reality. The company's plan is to launch hundreds of these, known as CubeSats, into low Earth orbit. Here, each satellite will receive data from a network of ground stations across the globe, using a technique known as user datagram protocol, multitasking, which is the sharing of data between users on a network. Outernet will beam information to users. Much like how you receive a signal on your television and flick through the channels, Outernet will broadcast the internet to you and allow you to flick through certain websites. We have a very solid understanding of the costs involved as well as experience working on numerous spacecraft, said project lead of Outernet, Syed Karim, who fielded some questions on Reddit. There isn't a lot of raw research that is being done here. Much of what is being described has already been proven by other small satellite programs and experiments. There's really nothing that is technically impossible to this. But at the prospect of telecom operators trying to shut the project down before it gets off the ground, Karim said, "We will fight and win." He sounds determined. If everything goes to plan, the Outernet project aims to ask NASA for permission to test the technology on the International Space Station. And their ultimate goal will be to beginning deploying the Outernet satellites into Earth orbit, which they say it can begin in June 2015. And you can read more on the Outernet right here. These two red links there. The Outernet project timeline. By June of this year, the Outernet project aims to begin deploying prototype satellites to test their technology. In September 2014, they will make a request to NASA to test their technology on the International Space Station. I wonder what NASA will say. What do you think, folks? You think they'll say yes or no? And we all know about NASA. Yeah, and I do too. By early 2015, they intend to begin manufacturing and launching their satellites. And in June 2015, the company says that will begin broadcasting the Outernet from space. Alrighty. So they plan to give internet, or not internet, see? I just made the mistake, folks. I said internet. They plan to give the Outernet. That's going to take some getting used to. Saying the Outernet to every person on the planet. Every person. That's going to do it for this report. Thanks for watching. And please be safe from the internet.